This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop.
All right, good evening. I'm Lieutenant Ray Spencer. I'm the homicide lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I'm out here this evening to brief you on a homicide investigation that we are conducting in the 2400 block of East Desert Inn. It's at the intersection of Desert Inn and Eastern at a business that's located directly behind me. The details that I have are very preliminary, but at around 6 p.m. tonight, we received a panic alarm at a smoke shop located directly behind me. When officers arrived, they found a male who was in his early 30s suffering from a gunshot wound laying in front of the business. That male was transported to Sunrise Hospital where he was pronounced deceased. What we've learned is that the victim who entered the business apparently was engaged in shoplifting or something to that sort. There was an altercation inside the business between the deceased and an unknown male person. We do not know if the male was an employee or if he was a customer inside the business. That altercation led outside the store where there was a physical fight, and during that fight the suspect produced a handgun and shot the deceased at least one time. Then the suspect fled. So at this point we are urging any witnesses who were in the shopping center or inside the business who may have witnessed anything to please reach out to Crime Stoppers. You can do that anonymously, or you can also reach out to homicide@lvmpd.com. So again, it's still very early on in the investigation. We do not have a suspect in custody, and we are urging the public for their assistance if they witness the incident. So with that, I will take a couple questions if you have them.
So you said the shooter, we don't know if he worked at the smoke shop.
Right now, it's too early for us to say. We know he was inside the business when there was a confrontation between the deceased and the shooter that led outside into the parking lot directly behind me. As far as how the shooter is connected to the business, we do not know that at this point.
Do we have a description on the suspect?
The description is actually, we're getting multiple descriptions at this point, so until I have something a little bit more concrete, I'm withholding a description, other than it's a male suspect.
We noticed some debris on the ground. Is that connected in any way? Did that come up against the sign there?
So the debris that you found belongs to the victim. When medical personnel arrived, they did work on the deceased prior to transporting him to Sunrise. the clothing and those type of things belong to the victim at this point.
Are there more details about what the confrontation was about?
What we're learning is apparently the initial details that we're getting is that the deceased was either a prior shoplifter or was suspected of shoplifting tonight or on a different occasion. That's what led up to the altercation, but again, that's very preliminary that we've been told from the employee at the scene.
Was the shop full of people?
Right now, we just know that there's at least a couple people inside the business. There were people that left prior to Metro arriving, so that's why I'm urging any people who fled and witnessed it to please reach out to Crime Stoppers, and you can do it anonymously.
Were there cameras inside? Do you have a chance to review
There appear to be surveillance video inside the business. We have our digital forensics people en route to the scene right now, and we're in the process of obtaining a search warrant so we could recover that video. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Sponsored by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop.